faithful stoppies.
We're back.
We're back.
Back so soon.
We just keep coming. Hit after hit. What are we doing? Come as a drink?
I'm coming.
Hello.
Come as a drink.
Come as a drink. It is nutritional. Hi, everybody. It's so good. What is insure? Let's just ask that question real quick. What is insure? Is that cum? It could be.
It is. I mean, there's a lot of protein in cum, right? And that's
it's true.
Like all protein. So
that's what I'm saying.
It might not be human cum.
Is Soylent cum?
Like, isn't there like bull cum in Red Bull? Like, isn't that what taurine is? It's like a extract from the testicles of a bull. I'm pretty sure it is. Google it.
Well, I'm not going to Google bull cum right now. Actually,
Google bull cum right now.
We're here to start a podcast.
Pause the podcast.
We're not pausing.
Pause the podcast and
we
Google.
have a lot to do today, okay?
Google bull cum.
We're asking the important, hard-hitting questions. We will be starting our offshoot podcast, Come as a Drink, the podcast, where we will be discovering what the fuck is in Ensure or Soylent.
No, there is a
Red Bull.
cookbook for.
Is it bull semen? Could be.
There's a cookbook for cooking with cum.
Jesus.
It exists. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Should we make that a public access TV show? Cooking with cum. Featuring Brenda. Okay, so here we are. It's another week here in the Make It Stop universe. If you haven't already, you can find us on iTunes and Podbean. I don't know where the fuck you find us on the side of the road, but we're here. Get used to it.
I realized when I've been listening to some other podcasts recently, and I realized what we're not doing.
What are we not doing?
That every other podcast does. We got to shill for our listeners to grade us 5 stars on iTunes.
Oh my God! Yeah. What the fuck are you doing?
Listen, stoppies. We've been really sucking you off these last.
Yeah, we sure have.
These last 5 weeks, and we appreciate it for sure. But show some appreciation to us. Rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Think about what we're doing to ourselves for your perverse pleasure.
A little bit of appreciation.
We deserve 6 stars. All right. They haven't invented 6 stars yet.
I still have nightmares of Farrah Abraham.
Jesus fucking Christ!
I wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night.
These are our last years on Earth because the world is definitely ending, and we're spending it listening to fucking Bruce Willis and fucking Farrah Abraham. Like what the fuck? What the fuck? Give us 5 stars on all the things that you can give us stars on.
Yeah.
Okay, just so we're clear. We're on iTunes, we're on the Podbean and Google Play, and on Facebook, Make It Stop, and we have a website that we're kind of buying the domain for pretty soon, eventually, sort of. You could also give us money, I guess. We'll set up that feature in a future event. Yeah, give us money. You can
always give me money. I can't guarantee it's going to go towards a podcast, but
or like anything positive at all. But it was thanks to you guys. Again, we're here for another week, and we keep making the terrible and tragic mistake of trusting you guys with any sort of responsibility because this is our British invasion. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is our British invasion week. Actually, I'm more Australian. What's your best British accent?
I've been doing the Paul Hollywood from Great British Bake Off.
Go ahead, give me a good one.
And just like, it's unapproved, it's overworked. Got a good crunch though.
Good crunch.
Good crunch, but the flavor's there. It's just a shame about the shape. It's pretty good, right?
That's what she said. All right. And sorry. Moving on. So we have a very special and important guest that's going to be joining us. An old pal, an old South Shore compatriot and current hilarious human being and recent Anglophile. Dicky Stock will be joining us on the podcast today. Unfortunately, he seems not to have gotten the memo about when or where to show up because here we are. And he is
he's not entered the
still
building
not arrived.
Yet. He's not arrived.
It's going to be fashionably late, I suppose.
As you do.
As you are.
The old South Shore entrance. I don't know.
It's an Irish hello. It means you don't show up because you fucking fell asleep in a puddle of your own vomit. Whoops, too close to home.
If I had a nickel
too
for
close
every
to
time.
home. We're all Irish Catholics. Okay.
We're all alcoholics.
All right. So fuck that guy. Honestly, I'm ready.
Oh.
He's basically dead to me. No, I'm just kidding. He's a funny person. He's a funny person.
Oh
my God! Wait.
Whoa.
Hold on a second. Do we have Is there a phone call coming in on the Make and Stop?
On the Stoppies hotline?
All right. I guess I'll pick this shit up for some reason. Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Who is this?
Who the hell is this?
It's Ian Ripken.
It's Ian Ripken.
Wait, what the fuck?
Pardon.
We're not cool enough to have prank callers. Who the fuck are you?
It's Ian Ripken. I'm a friend of Decades.
Oh, you're wait, I know this guy. I'm friends with him on Facebook. He works at Build-A-Bear with Kim Struble.
The Build-A-Bear.
I work at Build-A-Bear. I'm from England.
Wait a second. Are you calling it because it's a very special British invasion episode? And
so Dicky told me he was going to be late. I said, ain't that buzzy of you, mate? And he said, well, he basically said, I'm in the Kazi. I'm trying to get to the trolley. I swear he's stopped for taffy.
Is this my uncle?
He's telling Ricky's Dicky
Wait,
stopped
this
for
sounds
taffy.
like my uncle.
Dicky stopped for taffy.
He called me. He said, listen, Ian, I'm going to be late. It's a British invasion. I'm wondering if you call on the telly. And, I said, I talked to the postmaster after a long chat about some allergy about having 2 Barneys for a package that weighed nearly a stone. And I said, okay, all right, mate. I said, I have to stop at the chocolate shop to get me toffee and my caramels. And I said, it's very much rubbish. What are they doing tonight? He said, they were doing Elton John. I said, Elton John? You mean Sir Elton John?
Oh.
You mean, as we call him in Wolverhampton, we call him Sir Ellie Johnny Wazzy Butty. And I'm from England.
Well, so it's Sir LT Johnny Wazzy Butty.
Yeah,
that's a proper native pronunciation.
He's got sticky fingers. He's a cheeky monkey.
So
wait a second.
Are you a fan of Elky Jonky?
Well, Ellie Johnny Wazzy Buddy.
Sir Elsie Johnny Wazzy Buddy.
Sir.
I am, but it's a lot of humdrummery. It is. I get a bit buzzy listening to it, and but I go to the pub with me mates for a few pints, and we watch the football match, and I will put on from time to time maybe Donnie's song, or we'll put on old Rocket Man. Although in Britain we don't have rockets.
What do you have?
I'm sorry. What?
We have tea. We don't have a NASA.
That's right. Yeah, England has never gone to space, have they?
It's a bit hard for me to listen to Elton John sing about different buzzy bottoms and different shiny gauze butters.
Well, it reminds you of...
Listen, I'm just a shopkeep.
Ian, next time I come in to Build-A-Bear, because you know I'm a regular, if I come in, will you make me, in honor of this episode, a teddy of Elton John in a Donald Duck costume?
I'll tell you this, if you bring in some quid or pounds, I will.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Half of my pension goes to the Royal Air Force.
You have to.
You know what? What do they say? Who dares wins. Is that right? Who dares wins.
Excuse me?
That's the British Air Force thing. Who dares wins.
No, I don't think you know what you're talking about then, Mike.
I'm sorry.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Okay, so is Dicky Stock going to be coming to help us review this terrible, atrocious, fucking narcissistic?
I think he's on his way then.
Okay.
But I must be going. I've got some tea on the kettle.
As you do.
And,
as you do.
I've got some boiled dinner.
How many hot toddies have you drank tonight?
I just bought some crisps, and some dinner queen.
Wait, are crisps are French fries, right? Or
No,
they're
chips.
They're biscuits. Coffee and
so
fish.
biscuits are cookies, right? Are they trolleys or bread?
Yeah, you sound so fuzzy, right?
The man has to go. He's trying to cook his biscuits
and drink his tea.
Don't make.
I'm from England. And have a great night.
Well, Ian, we're chuffed to have you on the line, and
it's been a pleasure, I guess.
I guess hopefully Dicky gets here soon so we can start the show.
We'll see how that goes. All right,
tally ho.
Bye, tally ho. Jesus fucking Christ! I don't know what the nonsense is. What is that?
Sorry. He's here.
Oh my goodness.
He's here.
Wait a second.
Dicky, Ian Ripken just called in.
Oh, I know Ian.
Yeah, from Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, he's a friend.
What a guy.
He's a good guy.
Just a friend or a friend with benefits? Does he have any benefits, though? How many benefits does he have?
I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know.
Hey, we have comedian Dicky Stock here, all the way from Alston. It sure took you long enough, huh?
I know. Yeah.
You weren't even taking the MBTA.
Well, I stopped to get some toffee and some crisps.
That's what Ian said you would be getting.
Yeah.
Well, wow, I guess those stories just match up so well that there's nothing to question there. Yeah, that's true.
It was
true
facts.
So many alibis here, like that Larry Nabisco was watching La Femme Nikita.
Well, that he was.
I mean,
yes. I mean,
so to speak.
I don't know if you want to get into it.
Well,
there's not a whole lot I can talk about because it's
fact.
Well, I mean, he was watching La Femme Nikita. People will argue. So his wife was murdered on January 13th, 1997, or January 12th, 1997.
God.
La Femme Nikita premiered January 13th, 1997. So a lot of people are saying, okay, well, this
time's an illusion.
The time doesn't match up.
He had a screener because he worked for Nickelodeon magazine.
Exactly.
Everybody knows that.
Okay, as long as you, I feel so bad for the guy because people are pointing the finger at him.
He's had a rough life.
Yeah.
Well,
so
at least
if you guys want to follow these folks' escapades, Larry, Kimmy, Kent, Ian, we're all big. Gordon. Gordon's been quite a hit in these troubling times. These are good friends of ours, and
he says what we're all thinking.
These are good friends of ours, and I think even if you don't know them, their Facebook pages are definitely worth a follow.
It's true. So we should really talk about you, Dicky Stock, our local friend and comedian and funny guy.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm
what are you up to these days, funny guy, pal?
I'm doing a bunch of a whole lot of nothing. Honestly,
you're doing a great job. You went to LA, and here you are.
I moved to LA for 6 months.
Can we just shit talk LA for half an hour?
LA is the shittiest fucking place.
Fuck yeah!
You've ever visited.
Speak my language.
It is everything bad you've ever heard about it, and
the worst.
Yeah, the Mexican food's not good.
Oh, wait, all right. Tell me about this because I can't believe you. I can't believe you. I can't believe you on this one. I'm not going to agree with you on this one. I just can't.
100% way fucking better.
Stop it.
Now, you're fucking with people with this, right?
Make it stop.
I actually believe this.
If you get the best burritos in Los Angeles are at Chipotle. That's
okay, listen. I think we can universally agree that the West Coast has terrible pizza. It's the worst pizza in the country.
I found a few places that were pretty good.
What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, are you just trying to be obstinate? Listen, here, it's really bad.
This is his lived experience.
All right, okay. You know what?
You never lived in LA.
I have been to the West Coast, okay? Yeah, I went to LA. I drove through LA. Can I tell you my experience driving through LA? Sure. I put my arm out the window like a cool kid, and by the time I was out of LA, I put my arm back in the fucking car, and it was covered in soot. That's my experience with LA. That's why I never stopped there. So, point being, I did have some really excellent Mexican food on the West Coast, and everything you eat here is basically Salvadorian, but it's still delicious, but it's Salvadorian.
Okay, then you know what? I fucking hate Mexican food. Salvadorian food is great.
We don't have a lot of Mexicans in Massachusetts. I'm just saying.
You know what?
We have Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and Salvadorians.
Mexican food is bland.
What?
Salvadorian food is fantastic, depending on where you go. I mean,
I don't know, dude. Because here's the thing. Here's my thing with burritos around Boston, and we can get off topic on this because the album we're doing is 7 songs.
It's 7 songs, and like they didn't put any effort into it, so why should we put effort into fucking talking about it? Jesus Christ.
We'll get there. But my whole thing with East Coast burritos is like I've had a lot of good ones, but if you go to like East Boston, where you would think you would get like some like real legit, authentic shit, like so many of the burrito places there, they put peas and carrots in the rice.
Oh, I'll take that.
No!
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
But carrots do not belong in a burrito.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
If there's carrots in the burrito,
we're done.
I can't bear it. In the burrito.
I also eat fucking peanut butter and spaghetti sandwiches.
What the
Do you
fuck?
really?
I do.
No, you don't. Stop it.
It's actually really great.
Yo, this isn't like Double Dare. This is your life.
No, but you guys, do you know Terry Rozier from the Celtics? His favorite snack is a spaghetti and ranch sandwich.
Jesus fuck.
That doesn't sound too bad.
What the
He puts like leftover spaghetti with the
How
sauce.
old are you?
With ranch, and then he
How
puts
old are you?
sugar on top of it, and he eats it in between two slices of white bread.
That sounds pretty good. I'd probably do that. Sounds better than a
fucking
burrito from
Christ.
Los Angeles.
All right,
honestly.
hot takes. It's not like anybody from Los Angeles is listening to this podcast, so
yeah.
sorry, not sorry.
So I guess to get into it, would you rather
Okay.
eat a burrito from Los Angeles or listen to "Victim of Love" by Elton John?
One more time.
Well, I don't know. They're equally as good as one another. Although Victim of Love has 8 minutes worth of disco Johnny B. Good.
That's true. That's true. We gotta get into
That
this.
is true.
Stop
All right,
this.
listen. Okay. Before we go into this, I have a few general notes about
right.
this album. Okay. The number one thing, which is something that me and Dicky were talking about, theoretically when we were talking about this album, was that Elton John didn't write any of the songs or play piano or keyboards. Okay, it's like asking Picasso to like make a work of art but not use any of his body parts and maybe just have him make a fucking music video instead. Like it doesn't. Why would you have the two things that you're most famous for? You just wouldn't do them.
I didn't know that he didn't play piano on this record.
No,
I know he doesn't write any.
He didn't write any songs, and he didn't play
writes
piano or keyboard.
He writes music. He never wrote any of his own lyrics. He had a lyricist named, I think, Bernie Taupin.
Yeah.
But Bernie Taupin didn't write the lyrics on this album either.
That would explain it.
I think so. This is what
he
I
probably got
this
like
is
an
what
8-year-old to write the lyrics.
So I was saying that is there such a thing as an Alan Smithy record? And I think that this is it. Do you know what Alan Smithy is, right?
Yes.
Do you know?
No, I'm dumb.
Oh, it's okay. We're gonna educate Dicky. So, no, listen. We just have gone far, far deep down in the gross fucking intestines of terrible art for a long time. So, Alan Smithy is like a classic, like reference in bad movies.
Yeah, it's actually like the official thing you do. Like if you are the director or writer of a movie and you don't want people to know that you did it. Like, you're so pissed with how it turned out that you don't want your name
like, you're
on
so
it.
embarrassed that you were a part of it. So, all of our names, when we credit this on our iPod, and our iTunes fucking upload later,
is Alan Smithy.
You write your name as Alan Smithy. And that's, if you ever see a movie and anything is credited to Alan Smithy, it means that person did not want to put their name on the thing.
Like, David Lynch's Dune, I think it was actually an Alan Smithy.
An Alan Smithy. So, this is like an Alan Smithy record.
I think it was the Dune, like, director's, or I don't know.
Elton John at the peak of his fucking popularity, like really like killing it out in the world, and obviously because he's an incredibly accomplished lyricist and keyboard and piano player, decides to do
Bernie Taupin is.
All right, come on, Rocket Man's a great fucking
Bernie Taupin wrote those lyrics. I'm saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He didn't.
No, but he wrote the music.
Whatever. Point being,
he wrote like
keyboard,
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road on a 2-day coke binge or something. The whole album.
I guess that's why they call it the blues. Like, come on, dude. Like, okay. So anyway, these are not those things. This is an Alan Smithy record because he wouldn't fucking put his name or put any of his responsibility on any of these elements. Just gotta say it. The other thing is like the cover of the album, which is just like Elton John with his eyes closed.
Yeah, no, it's Elton John in sunglasses, like with his eyes closed, and it actually.
So like, why do you need? First of all, why do you need sunglasses if your eyes are closed? Well, that's like when I'm like fucked up at a party and I like don't want to like be lame and go to bed, but I obviously want to fall asleep, so I put sunglasses on.
I just assume it's like cocaine related.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
That's what I was gonna say. I was actually gonna say my whole theory on this thing is that this is like just a coke dream.
Yeah.
A Studio 54 coke dream.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when you actually make a coke dream come true. Is it's bad.
Aww.
You know, because this was what's the name of the fucking producer
true.
on this shit? Pete Bellotte.
I thought it was a reference to the fact that he thought he could make hit records with his eyes closed.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like they got like those like crazy microphones they put on like submarines, and they just like put it next to his head when he like fell asleep after like a 7-day coke binge, and like that was just like the sounds coming out of his like
boo 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 boo.
It is a dumb record.
That's it. Yeah, it's very dumb. It made us all dumb. Or maybe he just fell asleep like the rest of us over the course of this.
I think he did, but I think the reason that he was even doing this in the first place, and you know, this is some, you know, tinfoil hat shit here. But Pete Bellotte, the producer on this, he was a big deal disco producer. He worked with, you know, Shalimar. He worked with Tina Turner. He did Hot Stuff, that song. I got some hot stuff, baby, this evening. I know I'm very flat. But I swear to God, you know, Elton John used to hang out at Studio 54. That was the thing to do in the late 70s. Everyone was doing a shitload of coke. You know, Jimmy Page was there with his 13-year-old kept like child slave kidnap victim.
It's fine.
But I think that Elton John went to Studio 54. He was just doing crazy coke with Pete Bellotte, and Pete Bellotte was like, I don't know if he's British or not, but I'm going to give him a British accent. He was like, Elton, we have to get you on a disco record. It's the biggest thing right now. We have to get you on a disco record. And Elton was like, yes, fucking, yes, absolutely, we're doing it. Yes, absolutely, yes.
Do I have to do anything?
This
No.
is the greatest idea that either of us has ever had. We'll make 10 times more money than Hot Stuff. We'll make 10 times more money than Rocket Man.
Do I have to do anything at all? No, I just need to show up.
I don't think it was that. I think he was probably so psyched about it, and then like some shit, like maybe he signed a contract. Maybe they fucked and like it was weird. I don't know. But like somehow people was like, you said you were gonna do this disco record, and Elton John had to be like,
fine.
Is this his only disco record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I mean, if I was him, I would have probably tried again. I would have been like, all right, we obviously fucked up the first time.
There's a lesson to be learned here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Should we get into this? Those were my notes. All right, so let's get on into it. We're gonna start with this inexplicably 8 minutes long.
Oh yeah.
Cover of Johnny Be Good, originally by Chuck Berry, and now ruined forever. Go ahead, Mike. Say your thing.
I was just going to say, if you want to set your best foot forward, you start your album with an 8-minute-long disco cover of Johnny Be Good. That's how you win them over.
Well, let's see if it works. Here we go. Okay.
It seemed like to me he was trying to like make some sort of point by choosing that song to like cover.
First song on the album.
Yeah, the first song on the album. It was almost just like,
setting the tone. Setting the tone.
You know me for like this kind of like rocky, stuff, and it's all over now. And I'm taking this song with me, you know.
Oh, maybe.
I
didn't think as much thought was put into it. I just figured that they only wrote 26 minutes of material for the album, and they said, "What are we gonna do? Let's do an 8-minute Johnny B.
Let's give it a shot
because it's easy. It's 3 chords."
Yeah.
I said, "This is Bennigan's salad bar music." That's it. More like Johnny B. Fine.
Yeah, it's not
Johnny B. There.
It's pretty stupid. I'm like struggling to come up with things to say about it, but it's like really just so dumb. There's like not a whole lot of explanation that can go into it, or like I'm trying to like analyze it.
It's an 8-minute long version of fucking
head.
Johnny Be Good. Let's just get with that
part. It just loops over and over again, and the whole thing. It just
go like, Johnny go.
It just sounds like they. It sounds like to me, the producer was like, "All right, to the session musicians, this is." Right. We're gonna do Johnny Be Good. What do you think it would sound like? They're like, and then just the first thing that they played, it was like stupid and corny, and he's like, perfect. And they're like, well, that's not what we're actually gonna do. But make it
slower and less danceable. Please, slow it down. Dude, this was a Chuck Berry fucking song. Okay, Chuck Berry's version of the song is perfect. It's literally it's the perfect encapsulation of like original rock and roll at its best. But let's redo it and just make it sound like a fucking intro to a 90s sitcom. Like, let's just do that. Like, why would we do that? It's not a good idea.
What I think happened, my only explanation for this is that Elton John was sitting at home, and he got a phone call, and he picked it up, and on the other line, it was like, Elton, hey, it's me, your cousin, Marvin John. You know that new sound you've been looking for? Well, I think I found it. No, it's bad though. It has. I actually. It's one of the only songs I listen to back in extra time. It is the only song I listen to back in extra time. Just because I was trying to wrap my head around like, it was so forgettable. But I was like, how is this 8 minutes? Yeah.
And when I discovered, really is. What were the Lulu songs that were 8 minutes long?
I don't know. I think maybe we can have a contest to see which song has less fucking substance.
Listenable. Least
in 8 minutes. This or any song from Lulu.
I went into work today, and the first thing I said to the people I worked with was, "Do you want to hear something really long and really stupid?" and I just played that, start. And like no one thought it was funny, and I didn't really expect anyone to think it was funny. It was just like dumb. Yeah. It's just like it's so dumb.
So you guys understand. Now you all get it. It's all of this shit is just fucking dumb, and it's making us dumber as we speak.
Well, I wanted to know how it was 8 minutes. When I realized it's 8 minutes because it has a saxophone solo, a guitar solo, and a bass solo, and they repeat 2 of the verses.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of solos on this record.
And like not. Like anything that you'll ever remember from solo.
No.
Like it's just like
it was.
Yeah, it just feels. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it sounds like the goal was filler.
Yeah,
like
from beginning
not
to
like,
end.
And it's the first song. It's the first song on the album.
It wasn't even discussed in a way of like, all right, we need to fill some space. It was just like, oh, let's really just filler. Let's just make this like not good, but also take up time.
And it's sad that they realized the filler song was the best one and put it at the front of the album.
Yeah.
Yo, that implies that there was any sort of psychology between any of the decisions being made here. Like, I think they just kind of fucking sloppily like threw this shit together. Like it was this again, like you said, this is a Coke dream made real, and it has about as much follow through as a Coke dream made real. Like who the fuck knows?
I mean, I think
they could have thrown dots at the wall.
It might have been he might have been trying to cash in on disco, but I feel like disco was already dying in 1979.
I know, it's like it's like Elton John making like a Kiss album, or like the Clash making a Kiss album, you know?
Kiss made a disco record, and they kind of,
wow.
I like Kiss disco.
Oh my God,
stop. Kiss did disco better than Elton John, I think.
Jesus.
I was made for.
Listen, we're definitely going to be doing. Actually, we're going to be doing a Kiss album pretty soon.
Is it the disco one?
You should do whatever the last Kiss record is, because I guarantee it's the shitty.
They're all really bad. No, the one that we're doing is with Hugh from Power Slut, and we're gonna do.
Are we telegraphing our moves here? We shouldn't.
Listen, okay. There's gonna be some exciting stuff coming up that we'll talk to you about.
Can I throw in one Kiss anecdote? Just I know.
Yes.
Is that
done. Of course.
Fuck up the format.
No, who cares?
This is my favorite Kiss story ever.
Okay, please tell us.
I'll tell it quickly. So my cousin went and saw Kiss a few years ago, and I don't know if you're familiar with Paul Stanley stage banter, but it's like really stupid. It's just a lot of "Hey people," but so they're putting out a record, and he gets up on stage and he goes, "This next one's off our album that you can buy exclusively at Walmart," and everyone goes, "Boo!" And Paul Stanley just goes, I know. I don't know, I just had to throw that out there.
Oh, that's really
perfect.
That's really cute, actually. I can see him there in his little star makeup.
Yeah.
I know.
I will say this without spoiling like too much. We have the next 2 months of our podcast completely booked with like incredible guests.
Yeah,
and
it's
some
really
ridiculous
stepping it up.
albums. It's all thanks to you guys. But again, you guys gave us this album to review, so maybe I take it back. Okay, so what?
Heather, I mean, I feel like I don't know. Maybe this is pulling back the curtain too much, but you were telling me you don't think this album is bad enough.
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Parts of it are downright danceable. So, I mean, if you think about it, this is like Return of Bruno bad, which wasn't that bad. It was like embarrassing, and that's how I feel about this whole album. It's like it was an embarrassment that like everybody would rather like forget.
All right, well,
which doesn't necessarily translate to like Broken Side, like abrasive, like horrific, like atrociously unapologetically bad.
It's not offensive.
I would argue without even like the pretense of pretending to be embarrassed by it. Like those motherfuckers stand by their man, and that's truly terrible.
I would argue that like it is offensive in its way though. Like I don't think this is offensive to my ears. It's not making me as angry and uncomfortable as like Broken Side or Farrah Abraham did, but it is like offensive to my sensibilities.
That is true.
I think it's like so dumb that Elton John did this fucking album.
It is really dumb.
All right,
okay, we gotta go. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. So we have another song that is called "Warm Love in a Cold World." I think that's the like key that it's in, but honestly, I couldn't tell you. So, this is "Warm Love in a Cold World," off of what's this album? Victim of Love.
Victim of Love.
And I'm pretty sure it just repeats itself for 3 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that song they recorded like 30 seconds of it and then just like looped it over and over and over and over.
Definitely.
Which I don't know. It sounds like to me when I was listening to it, it just made me feel like I was on drugs. So I appreciated it like in that way.
Yeah, free drugs. Thanks, Elton.
It's just it's weird. It makes me feel like a little uncomfortable listening to it.
It's got that icy little bling.
Yeah, that like I don't know, the chime effect. I don't know what you'd even call it, but I don't know. This one is okay. It's not like a good song.
I don't think it's good.
It's how quickly you become desensitized to bad music in this podcast, right?
I do think that I will say the bass line on this song and on a couple of the songs.
It's a Seinfeld synth.
It's a pretty tasty little lick.
No, it's a fucking Seinfeld intro.
Yeah, the guy, whoever the bass player is on this record, he takes a couple of lines for a walk, and he brings them back.
Yeah,
he really does. He has them home before 10. And I appreciate that kind of thing.
That respect.
Yeah.
He's got some magic fingers, that one.
Yeah. It was...
Some magic fingers and some lazy ass rhymes, okay? This whole fucking it's like world and girl.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna rhyme time.
A city boy and a city girl together in a city world.
Right. Yep, exactly. I didn't even know. I wasn't looking at the lyrics, but I knew that was going to be that predictable. It's like I was saying, like this is like Elton John, like is performing the entire soundtrack of Xanadu, and
it's
like
Elton John at his best.
But like, so like, technically, I do love Elton John. So like, technically, I love both of those things, but I do not love this. Like, I don't. I love Xanadu because it's a fucking mess, and I love Elton John because he's incredibly talented and a fucking mess. A bit like a glorious, glamorous, like, fucking Rocket Man mess. You know? Like, I can get behind that kind of mess. I can't... This is a lazy mess. You know what I mean? So, it's just kind of like, we could do better, sir. You've been knighted.
Like,
You've been knighted.
You didn't walk in to, like, listen to these tracks before, like, laying down the vocals or whatever and just been like, you know, I wrote Yellow Brick Road. It's like, should I be doing this?
Yeah, like, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, he wrote that whole album on, like, a crazy coke binge, like, and that album is, like, Lulu length.
Yeah.
And, it's, like, good.
It's really good.
But I don't listen to a lot of Elton John. But the thing, like, he's not like my favorite artist or anything. But I understand what's good about Elton John.
I love Elton John.
But
I love Elton John.
Nothing that's good about Elton John is detectable on Victim of Love.
No.
He's not really using his pipes. He sounds like he's like, you know, saving his voice for a performance the next day. He's not really. He's not
showing any sort of emotion, right? And that's like his whole big thing. Is like communicating his like angst and like emotion and like fucking, you know, like absurdity and glam ridiculousness through his piano playing, and he's not even doing any of those things.
Yep.
It seems like he just did it for the money, and to me that's really pathetic. And I'd just like to go out and say, if Elton John ever hears this, I just think you're fucking pathetic. I think that's like...
I don't think it even made any money either. This was like
one of his worst selling albums. It didn't do well.
I bet he made money somehow.
But you know, also
he definitely snorted any of the profit that he made from this album off of the surface of this album.
Yeah, this is. He's a piece of shit.
Fuck you, Elton John. Yeah. All right, listen. Should we get on to the next one?
All right, sure. Yeah.
This one is
Born Bad.
This one's called Born Bad. I'm really scared, Elton. Those Seinfeld synths.
I love any bass line where it goes bling. Bing. That right there. That's the hallmark of great bass playing. Bing.
Listen, Bruno returned.
There's 7.5 billion people on this earth, right? Mm-hmm. Something like that?
Something like that.
Do you think, like, anyone likes that fucking song? That song is so fucking boring and stupid. Like,
I was born.
Whatever, like low-hanging fruit, like Nickelback or whatever, you're always like, oh, how do people like this or whatever?
But some people really go hard for Nickelback. Yeah,
I get it. I know people who like appreciate it for what it is. This, it's just like, I don't know. Why did you make that Born Bad? It's just like it's a boring song.
Yeah,
it's like hard to even
boring bad is actually how you pronounce the song.
Yeah. That's the thing about this album. Like, who did he think he was like pleasing with this? Like, it's not disco fans aren't going to be like, oh shit, finally Elton John's getting in the disco game. This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, dude.
Elton John fans aren't going to be like, oh, finally Elton John's getting in the disco game. They're fucking pissed about this. Yeah. Like,
this is the audio equivalent of Elton John trying to be attracted to women.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's disco. That's true. Well, he did get married.
Did he have a better time being married to a woman or recording this album? I don't know.
Yeah.
Did we have a better? Yeah. Like, how are our lives now? We were born bad. Guys, it's so dumb. This is like Sally Jesse Raphael intro music, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's so unconvincing.
He's like this brilliant songwriter, and if like any of my friends made this record like note for note, it was just like it sounded exactly like what we have now, I'd be like, this is not, and this is just like a random friend, my neighbor, my like 10-year-old niece could have made this record, I've been like, this isn't good. Even for you.
Stop
like,
it.
This is dumb.
Yeah.
This is boring and stupid. Would you make this like... I don't know.
I'm sure some of his friends must have expressed concern after they heard this album. Like, I feel like he knows it's bad. He doesn't give a shit.
He does, exactly.
He
has the good sense to like
no harmonies,
pretend
there's
this
no
didn't
backup
exist.
vocals, like there's no thought put into this, no soul. Like he doesn't give a fuck about. Like it's very audibly just a bunch of session musicians playing what by the numbers perfunctory disco.
Yeah. So I'm having like
it's Bruno like, returned.
I had like notes written out. I left some in my car like a dope, but I had notes written out and like I was looking at them. I'm like, these notes are not even. All they say is like, this song is stupid and boring. This song is dumb and stupid.
You used up all 4 of your adjectives already.
Literally, it's just the 4 adjectives.
I will say, like, the only positive thing, the best thing I can say about this album is that sometimes it reminds me of Mega Man music.
Sometimes it sounds like it was on the Return of Bruno.
That's kind of spot on.
I imagine it in like 8-bit, sine waves, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this, but I might like that.
Yeah. If this was 8-bit, it would be like way fucking better.
Yeah. Carbia, get on the...
Yeah, Carbia!
Our boy Carbia's gonna get on the... make a chiptune version of this album.
We're working on it. Nobody asked for it. We're already working on it. It's like basically done. Okay, so we're gonna... I feel like it's time to move on, right? It's time.
Yeah.
We were born bad and we'll die fine. That's the... That's how this album is going. Okay, so this next song is called Thunder in the Night. I bet it's gonna be special.
No, it's just the same song as the other ones.
Oh, here we are.
But picture it 8-bit. Pretty good.
You know what? Is it recording when the songs play?
Yeah. Oh,
I know it's recording now.
Here we are.
But
here we are.
So
yeah, we talk over the songs.
We talk over the songs because I mean the fucking song sucks.
Really,
like it's dumb.
That song, you know what it sounds like to me? The Thunder in the Night sounds like to me. He's talking about hardcore fucking. It does like. I think that's what else could it mean?
He's shoving his Thor hammer
He's talking about hardcore fucking beautiful women.
Oh, only women, of course.
Just tons of at the time. But fucking women left and right.
Just making that thunder clap.
Yeah.
In the night.
Yeah, that's a song about fucking.
He rhymed this time with this time in this song. Just so we're all on the same page. Just so we're all clear.
Yeah, I mean...
I kind of like it when people do that. It's lazy, and it's so lazy that it adds a weird element to it. It's just like, I don't care that I'm dumb.
I used to like when Dipset used to do it like on purpose, and people, they were like... hated on for that, but I liked when the end of every single line in the song "Boy" was the word "boy."
Yeah. Well, you know what?
But not even them saying "boy," just the sample of a woman going "boy."
Yo, boy. Perfect example of that is ODB doing "I don't have no problem with you fucking me, but I have a little problem with you
not fucking me."
That's a great line.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's great.
So, that's better than any of the lyrics in Thunder in the Night.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, stop giving Thunder in the Night any sort of credit, dude.
Well, I like it because to me, and I don't do cocaine, but I really just once. But I remember that night I was a crisp 17-year-old, and I didn't get lucky. But I can imagine being all coked up, and walking through a club. And hearing Thunder in the Night, and like hearing that song and just being like,
instantly,
yeah, I'm all coked up.
Yeah,
the song's about fucking, and
it sounds like it could be. It sounds like it starts off like it could be a Daft Punk track. It could be.
It could be. I disagree.
No, I
actually put this in my notes for this song that like, it's really not working for me. That I see that he's trying to do that. You know, he's trying to. every fucking disco song's about fucking and cocaine. Like, they're all about fucking.
Unless this one's just about meteorology.
But this one, I don't know.
Did I say that right? Meteorology.
Good job.
Meteorologist. All right, I'm done.
Meteorologist Al Caprillion.
I don't know. I just think, like, disco, like, this whole album's kind of cheesy, but disco is always cheesy. But I think it works in its cheesiness because it has a sort of, like, earnestness and, like a coke-fueled, like, energy.
Earnestness or delusions?
I think it's all got this energy, like, that you can feel.
Don't do coke, guys. This is the ultimate.
This looks pretty good. I'm gonna vouch for it.
And
it's I just don't get that on this. I don't. This album does not make me want to dance.
Yeah, no, especially, again, like, going back to, like, even starting with Johnny Be Good, like, it was like, let's take a very eminently danceable, like, recognizable song and make it, like, so stretched out and, like, lazy and dumb that it just sounds like a fucking, like, I don't even know. Like, nobody is gonna dance to that shit.
I think if I was in disco and this song came on, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
I would, this is the time where I would take a break and go to the bathroom and snort coke, like, because I'm not feeling it.
I think I
put on the fucking.
I could see myself so fucked up at like Studio 54, being like super fucked up, and I'm
Club
dancing,
Faces on
I'm
2A
dancing next to Cher or whoever else is fucking there, and I'm like, oh, Thunder in the Night, who is this? And she'd be like, oh, it's the new, it's Elton John. And be like, oh man, this song fucking rips. And then waking up the next day and hearing it on the radio and just being like, that song's dumb. But
yeah,
I was definitely like really fucked up last night. And I thought, so I don't know.
It's like Heather. It's like when we went to Berlin and you're at the club and you love techno. In that moment when you're fucked up on drugs.
When you're on a lot of drugs.
And then never listen to techno again.
Nope.
It's bad.
Nope.
This is an album for coked out idiots.
And even they're going to be disappointed. Yeah. And you literally can't even disappoint those people because they think that everything's possible. All right, let's keep it going here. We got some more songs to listen to.
We barely have any more songs to listen to.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
We don't even need to keep it going.
Listen, we've been talking.
This album is so short and pointless.
I hate to break it to you, buddy. We've been fucking talking about this short, pointless album for an hour at this point.
No.
So, we're gonna start. Okay, so we got three more songs, and this is one of those 3 songs, I guess. This one is Spotlight.
I like this one too. You know what? I lied. I don't hate this record completely.
I love that song, actually. Yeah, the fake claps are a really nice touch.
That is the best part of the whole album.
Yeah. It's actually the most rhythmic.
What'd you say? Spotlight?
Spotlight.
Nightlife, hot spotlight. I really want to dance tonight or something. This whole song is about how he's like the lyrics. I wrote down these lyrics. I know that the competition's heavy. I know that these guys are cool.
He says that in this?
But I'll show this kid is more than ready. I sure got something to prove. Right now, I'm just another guy. I don't mean nothing to them. But when they see me dance... Do you have
the lyrics right in front of you?
Okay, I'm literally looking them up.
Okay. Let's get this part here.
I like the beginning. I know that the competition... Okay, so... Mike, we're at band practice. Yeah. Like, hey, guys, I wrote this new song called Spotlight. The beginning goes like this. I know that the competition's heavy. I know that these guys are cool, but I'll show this kid is more than ready. I sure got something to prove. Someone had that conversation with Elton John. It was like, this is what you're going to sing. But I guess that makes sense. Right? In Elton John's fucking whatever world you want to call it, I guess that makes sense. He's like, yeah, this is I can identify with this big time.
I can identify with this. I've definitely been in a situation where I've been intimidated and I just danced my way out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would be your dance move that you would like shut down an audience with?
I would do the Lil B cooking dance. Of course.
That's how you would...
It's the only dancing I can do.
That's what you would do.
The only dance I know.
What would you do, Dicky?
The only dance I can do is that thing that the Backstreet Boys do in that, like, the thing where they, like, flap their hands
For the
down.
listeners, Heather is doing the Backstreet's back.
Yeah, you flap your hands down, and then move your shoulders
All
over,
right.
and then flap your hands down. It's all about the hand flap.
Ow. That one?
That's the only one I can do. And
I can't even do that one.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I can't do it. It's hard. I'm trying to do.
All right. Should you even be allowed to review music if you can't do the back?
I'm a fucking musician.
Well,
I'm in a. Come on.
So you say. All right, listen.
Oh my God.
This is another bad song on a really dumb album.
Says the rapper. More like crap music, am I right? Parentheses, C-rap music.
Jesus Christ.
Get at me,
right.
baby boomers.
This song,
I'm on your side.
This song, the only note I have is that this sounds vaguely recognizable as a song that Elton John might have created.
Which
Even
one?
though he actually didn't. He didn't write
Spotlight?
anything. This is Spotlight. This is the one we're talking about right now.
This is, you know what? This is another
Spotlight.
Chuck Berry. This is a Chuck Berry cover.
Spotlight.
What were you saying?
This is actually, I don't know if you guys knew this. I was gonna wait for like the big reveal, but these are all Chuck Berry songs.
God, just another white man profiting off of the talent of folks of color.
Disco is another genre stolen from black people, right?
Oh, definitely. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, this is like a Donna Summer. Like, every single song on this album is like a Donna Summer, like, H side, you know? It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's halfway down the alphabet. Like, we don't need this shit. Should we move on? We only have...
Well, yeah, my only notes on the whole song were those lyrics I said, and then I wrote, it just keeps going.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's move on. Street Boogie.
Street Boogie. I don't even know if that's how it goes, but I feel like I could make up the songs at this point.
I think it's Street Boogie, like Hot Pockets.
All right,
Let's see who's right.
We'll see. Street Boogie. See, that's what I'm going for. All right, we'll find out.
Pockets.
All right, you win.
Pretty good.
You
know,
win.
you can hear a little bit of old Elton coming out in the vocals a little bit.
Street Boogie.
He's trying a little bit right there, you know.
No, dude. What kind of? What kind of? Hold on.
Maybe
what,
I'm just giving him credit. It does sound like he is singing.
Dude, what kind of streets allow you to boogie to this?
Yeah.
Come on, street boogie?
Well,
like,
I guess this
what?
was 79, but in the 80s, everyone seemed to be dancing, like, well, I mean, dancing in the streets, but everyone's like, I don't know, everyone was just like, it seemed like everyone was outside dancing all the time, according to, like, all the music, you know?
This is like Sesame Street boogie, all right? This is some fucking, like, super sanitized, PG...
Were people just dancing in the streets of New York?
It seemed like
maybe that's true.
Yo, hit us
maybe
up,
Sesame
you geriatric stoppies. Let us know if you lived in New York in the 70s. Were people dancing on the streets?
Were you Oscar the Grouch?
The 70s and the 80s are the two decades that don't really make any sense when you look back at like the culture. It's like, why was everyone acting this way?
Why did people have these haircuts and then vote for Ronald Reagan?
Well, not even that. It's just like a weird everyone was like a weird cheesy, like, I don't know, like even this record, it's just unacceptable to be behaving and like singing like this. Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm having a tough time explaining it, but it just seems like everyone was so stupid back then. And then you get records like this, and it's just a really stupid album.
It's dumb. It makes you feel dumb trying to think about it in a creative and articulate way.
Yeah.
I think doing this podcast though, it has made me reflect on that, because I remember listening to the Bruno album and just being like, it's such a bummer.
That's a perfect example.
It's such a bummer that people thought this was cool.
Well, I guess that's the thing is, like, Bruce Willis thought that was like, this makes sense to do this.
Yeah, right.
This makes sense to behave this way, and like no one's gonna think I'm weird.
This whole album is the soundtrack for white male mediocrity, but then on cocaine.
We say that every
single time. Well, there seems to be a uniting thread here, which is that fucking white people need to sit the fuck down and stop doing things.
I don't know, but Elton John was good for like 12 years before this.
Yeah.
And then I think he was good from like the
12
mid
years after
80s
this,
on.
yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I will say, Don't Go Break My Heart gets stuck in my head like at
Don't
least
go break
3
my
times a
heart.
week for my entire life.
It's an amazing. It's an amazing song.
It's a great song.
I think Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is a fantastic song.
Dude,
And
Rocket
Benny
Man,
and the Jets
Benny
too.
and the Jets, like so
Like,
much.
think of the
fucking...
melodies on Benny and the Jets. Think of the vocal delivery on Benny and the Jets and the
great.
way that he just, like, is all over that shit. Just,
Yeah, think about that.
There's none of that here. It's
Think about it, and
It's
then
weird.
don't
It's actually
listen
weird that it's
to this
this.
album.
Yeah, I mean, listen to the Lion King soundtrack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Taking care of business on that.
It's fucking true.
You feel... Okay, listen.
I like that they changed the lyrics, and like in the movie version, there's different lyrics. But in the Elton John version of the Circle of Life, he says, "It's the wheel of fortune."
Yeah.
You know, I always remembered that when I was a kid. And
Yeah.
I was like, how come they don't say Wheel of Fortune in the movie version?
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't know that. I don't know. I just thought he was referring to the TV show.
Me too. I thought the song was about Pat Sajak.
Yeah.
All right, guys. All right, listen. We only have one more song to review, and I feel like that's for the best. So, this is the final titular track of the album "Victim of Love" by Elton John, or like by a bunch of other people, but Elton John sang the songs kind of, sort of, a little bit. This is "Victim of Love." Here we go.
There's a void inside me where my heart used to be. So this was a game, you were just playing, and now I'm losing you.
This is actually my favorite hook on the album. This is the one that's stuck in my head. Victim of love.
Are we all
Victim
victims?
of love.
Are you saying we're victims?
You like that?
Of Elton John?
You like that more than "One Love in a Cold World"? See, that's fucking in my head from now on.
The hooks really do stick in your head, but it's just because it's the song title repeated over and over and over again.
That
like,
it's
and
just
they
like,
don't even bother with
entire-
like more than one verse on some songs.
Yeah, and it's just like a weird. It's a weird way to sing that. I guess I don't know. It's like weird and dumb.
Wait, is it dumb though?
It's stupid.
Is it dumb?
You know, but
though?
it's like what if we just wrote a song called "Weird and Dumb" and the chorus is "Weird and Dumb, Weird and Dumb."
Still wouldn't be as weird and dumb as
weird
that
and
song.
dumb.
I don't know. Victim of Love doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah,
It doesn't get my rocks off.
I would say "Victim of Love." The album doesn't really do it for me.
No. I feel like nobody is satisfied. I believe that some of the lyrics from this song is about satisfaction, and nobody has been serviced to completion over the course of this album.
It's another song about fucking, but it's about fucking poorly.
Fucking poorly, exactly. Like just fucking in
Or
the
it might
gym.
not be. I don't know. Maybe it's about getting broken up with. I can't tell. Who cares? No one put any thought into this.
cares?
Yeah.
Nobody put any thought into this album.
I mean, he throws everyone off by, Johnny Be Good right out the gate. It's like, you're throwing everybody off. What is this album, sir?
Sir.
Sir Elton.
Yeah, it's
And
really weird
also-
to me that they put that song first.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Another thing that I was thinking about on the way over here was, so he was knighted, right?
Yeah.
The guy didn't write any of his own fucking lyrics. So you guys couldn't have found, like, someone else to knight that day?
Yeah.
I get, like, he's
Like
a great
a Phil
singer and
Collins, maybe?
shit. Yeah. Something tells me he's a knight.
Oh, is he really?
Sir Phil Collins.
Maybe he is Sir Phil Collins.
I don't know. He might be.
Yo, he
Close
might
enough.
be. They'll knight anyone over there.
Is Ian Ripken a knight?
You know what? He's a knight. It's like a smaller. He's like a knight of Oxford, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
a knight of. I've heard about those.
Yeah.
I think.
You know, in England, they call vinyl records black waxies.
Did you know that they call the remote control a smibbly bibbly?
I did know that. I don't know any other.
See, at least somebody learned something over the course of this podcast. You know, here we are.
Yeah.
Hashtag smibbly bibbly. Get at us at the Twitter that we don't use and no one else uses.
Okay, so we did it. We made it through this very aggressively bland pseudo disco album by Sir Elton John. What are we going to be rating it? What is our rating system for today? What is our rating quantity? Do you have any?
Oh, yeah.
You're our
So
guest, Dicky.
So we picked like
what
a
we do-
British thing, so it'd be like 3, you know,
So we go on a
tea
scale
kettles
of
or something like that.
Yeah.
Something funnier than that.
we go on a scale from
Crumpets.
0 to -5.
Yeah,
0 to
of
-5.
any sort of quantity.
I'm thinking.
Well, no, it's our guest.
I mean,
Is that
let's
what we
hear
do?
his-
Is that what we do? You don't
That's
let
what
me
we
do.
do.
It's always
Yes,
the guest?
it's our
Well,
guest.
what was your suggestion? And then maybe I can.
No,
add
I don't. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. You do yours.
On the spot, I can't think of anything. I mean, what would Ian Ripken say? Maybe like
I don't know.
Fuck.
He was pretty hard to
0
understand.
to -5 dinner creams.
Oh, you know what? They really like breakfast creams over there. I assume. I feel like they like figs and toffee.
It's true. They do.
They do.
Big and toffee butter crisps.
Yeah. Fuck. What is like the most British food? Boiled dinners. How
Yeah,
about
this
that?
boiled.
That's Irish.
Is it? I mean, it's all the
Fish
fucking
and
same.
chips.
Let's be honest.
Fish and
Scotland,
chips.
England.
Oh, bangers
Ireland.
and mash.
Bangers and mash.
That's Scottish.
What?
It's definitely Scottish.
All right. Game pies, meat pies.
There we go. I like that.
0 to -5.
A Tudor meat pie.
A Tudor meat pie.
All right. Who goes? Should I go first?
I guess.
All right. So 0 being the best, -5 being the worst. Meat pies.
I give it -2 meat pies. I mean, it's shit. But I mean, if I gave it like a 0, would that mean I liked it or?
Yeah.
It's like breaking even.
Yeah.
It's not like a
0,
light.
Okay.
You liked it as much as one could like.
All right. I'm gonna say -2 meat pies. It's a shitty record, but it's got its moments, like that A Warm Love in a Cold World. It's gonna be stuck in my head. And what was the other one that I really liked?
Bangers and mash. That one.
Well, no. What was like?
Dafoe.
No. The song.
Tubby Crumpets. Is that the song? Was that the
Excuse
one?
me.
Tubby Crumpets.
What was like the third to last song on there?
Does it really matter?
No,
It's hold on. It's Spotlight.
Spotlight. You know what? I like Spotlight. The beginning of that song is so dumb. Can I just read those lyrics one last time before I go? I know that the competition's heavy. I know that these guys are cool. But I'll show this kid is more than ready. I sure got something to prove. Yeah.
Spotlight.
Yeah. Oh, that's like pretty much.
Spotlight.
There's not a whole lot of lyrics.
That's it.
That's pretty good.
Well,
Great.
For me. Yeah, no, it wasn't so bad to listen to. It didn't make me feel particularly annoyed. I think, but as I said earlier, it offended my sensibilities. I really feel like this album is dumb and stupid, as Dicky said many times. It is very dumb. The lyrics are bad. There's no thought put into the lyrics. There's no effort put into the vocals. It's very perfunctory by the numbers disco, played by people who clearly have no passion for the type of music they're playing. And if they do, they don't have any passion for this project. I don't know. It didn't make me mad to listen to it, but I never want to listen to it again because I don't think anyone who involved in the recording of this album wants to ever listen to it again.
It's true.
I can't be too harsh on it, but I can't really give it a pass either, so I'm going to give it 2.5.
Nice.
-2.5 meat pies.
Excellent. All right, listen, meat pies are great. Just want to say that. I feel like we can unequivocally go on the record here as saying that meat pies are great.
Yeah.
They're good.
I've never had one. They look when they make them the Great
Pastry-
British Bake Off. It's so much. It's so
plus
much
meat.
meat,
Pastry
and it's
plus
all
meat.
fucking weird pigeons and shit. They eat pigeons.
I don't
It's
know.
weird.
All right, this music is an audio equivalent of an Irish goodbye, okay? Nobody asked for it. Nobody's expecting it. Nobody needs it, and everybody's offended. So I would say I'm going to give it a -3, mostly because it's a little bit worse than fine. And fine is pretty offensive on the show. Fine makes me mad because I'm wasting my precious hours, whittling away my precious hours here in the fucking, in the wasteland, the nuclear apocalypse.
I'm gonna change mine to -1.
Wow.
Because
you really like Spotlight.
Spotlight's pretty good. And
you know what?
Get rid of Johnny Be Good. Get rid of like every song except for Spotlight and Warm Love in a Cold World. Put that out as a 7-inch, and not too bad.
Bright lights.
Spotlight.
I wouldn't be
Just
listening.
a seat tonight. Oh wait, that's a Madonna song, and that's a good song. Okay, so. Thank you to our incredible guest, Dicky Stock.
Thank you, Dicky.
Is there anything that you want to plug real quick that we should be paying attention to? Do you do things?
I got things coming soon. Nothing. I want to say nothing I can talk about, but that makes it sound like way more important than it is.
No, it sounds important.
It's not.
Oh.
Stuff I can't talk about, but things that aren't particularly important
That don't matter.
That probably won't happen. I don't know. I guess I have some friends, like Kim Struble and Larry Nabisco. I guess just like
check them out.
They're okay for right now.
They're fine.
We'll see.
They're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, they're good.
So
let's plug our thing.
Yeah, let's plug our thing. So the next upcoming couple of weeks here.
No, I'm talking about our show that we're gonna play on the 30th at Great Scott.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna play a show on the 30th at Great Scott. Blame Shifters and Deborah, and then a couple other friends, Witch Cake and Mojo Rot, apparently, are bands that we'll be playing with. So you can come to that. It's at Great Scott.
This will be the first time I've played a show with you that I wasn't rapping on.
That I wasn't wrestling on.
Yeah, that's true.
And here we are today. Also, the thing that I was gonna get very excited about was upcoming shows. So I know we don't want to like peek too far behind the curtain, but I do want you guys to get excited because next weekend we're gonna be discussing an incredible album. An album that's pretty legendary in the Bad album universe. The Shags. Philosophy of the World, that we're going to be discussing with famous New Hampshire resident Andrew Wiley of the High Energy Vintage and the Old School Game Show. What?
He doesn't live in New Hampshire.
But he's from New Hampshire, and so are the Shags.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know
that.
Get it
the fuck together. So that's going to be next week. Then we'll be on a brief hiatus, and then after that, we're going to have VQ and Shay, a.k.a. the Shitty Wizard, and Cheryl of the Boston League of Wicked Wrestlers will be coming in, and we're going to be doing a fan choice white rapper roundup. So you'll be able to choose between a whole bunch of terrible white rappers that you can force us to listen to.
That makes sense because they love using white rappers on wrestlers' entrance theme songs in the WWE.
And also because both me, you, and Shayna have all been white rappers. So
that's true.
We're going to be talking about that.
We should wait. We'll reveal it on the next episode.
Okay. All right. So we have a whole bunch more comedians, local musicians. We're going to do a crossover with another podcast that's going to be coming here. We're going to do...
I think that's fair to say, yeah.
A double header of recordings. We're going to be doing an album that is so reviled by a fan, like an avowed fan of that
Of a band that we already think is bad.
That is already automatically bad. And
we're getting him on. He likes this band.
Is an endless punchline.
And he thinks
it's really bad. It's really bad. We have all sorts of really hilarious people that are going to be coming on. Even an owner of a legendary local record store
I can't wait for that.
For decades.
Look, we gotta roll the yarn slowly. That's not a saying, but I'm making one right now.
Okay.
Roll that yarn slowly. We can't.
So
you gotta reel it in slow.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, we are Heather and Mike. For Make It Stop.
And Dicky Stock.
And Dicky Stock. Make it stop.
On the count of 3, let's just all do a little bye. 1, 2, 3.
Bye. All right. See you next time.